Welcome to 10 Steps to Developing Training Drills for Your Game Model, Efficient, Effective and Engaging, presented by Aussie Rules Training. So I got this idea from some people asking about ideas for drills and things like that. And I think often we miss the boat. Just think of a drill that might look good, but doesn't actually have any purpose on what we want to do on the ground. So I actually take it back quite a few steps. And we'll look at that right now. Okay, so we've got 10 steps we're going to go through. Step number 1 is to develop a game model or a game plan, both the same. I just call mine a model, which is built around 4 game moments. So if you've read my stuff before, you might be familiar with some of these terms. So we have offense, transition defense, defense, transition offense. Okay, at any time of the game, you are involved in one of these patches of play or moments of play. So offense usually rolls into transition defense, so you have the ball and you lose the ball, it's in dispute. They get the ball, then you're in defense. At some point, they kick it behind, you cause a turnover, you're back in the transition offense trying to set up your offense again. As you can see from the arrows, it just goes in a giant loop. Okay, so even for split seconds, you'll be in each of these 4 things, 4 moments, in that order. To break them down, you go into macro moments of the game moments. So we've got our 4 game moments again. Alright, so each of these can be broken down into however many points you like. I'm going to make 2 points here of the main macro moments of each game moment. So for offense, you're trying to score as well as maintain possession. If you can't score straight away. Transition defense, you want to press the ball carrier as soon as you can and try and regain your defensive formation. On defense, you want to defend the goal and then eventually regain possession. And then transition offense, you counter attack once you regain possession, and you're trying to build your offense a little bit further up the ground, and you go back in and try to score in the offense. Okay, so there's your macro moments. Okay, so now we're breaking the game down to specific moments, almost. We just go back to that. So now that you've got these, so you'll have 4 or 5, 6 of these micro moments for each defense macro moment, each offense game moment, and each transition and defense micro moment. So you might have 25 to 30 different micro moments. Okay, and this is what really gets you into developing your training and planning drills. So for drill development, you've got your game moments, okay, which we've all said this just mentioned above, so you can go back and look at those when you need to. You've got your macro moments, and you've got your micro moments. Okay, so now you build your drills around what you've written out. Okay, because what you've written out is your game plan or your game model. It's important to plan for what does happen than what you want to happen. Okay, we all think we want to train like AFL teams. We don't have the skill, the tactical, the technical, or even the physical and psychological prowess that they do. Okay, so we can't pick AFL drills and say let's use this one because they use it. Because it's not what happens in a game. It's different football at local amateur level, depending on the level you're playing. For a moment of making the ground small, then you will progress that to integrate with other micro moments from the same macro moments. Okay, so we're going to stay with defence, we're going to stay with defend the goal. Now we might make the ground small and to make them play wide. Okay, so looking at both of them, if you achieve the first one, which is make the ground small, which is positioning a cluster or a zone in front, right in the immediate kicking space of the ball player, if they don't want to kick down the line to a pack, then they're going to have to play wide, aren't they? So if you make the ground small right, you'll get the second bit right, which is make them play wide, which gives you control because they can't play fast. Alright, so you can recreate this scenario at training, building off the make the ground small drill or scenario, and see if the defence can make this happen. Okay, so that's one thing, making the ground small. Can they make them play wide and keep them playing wide? Okay, without gaps opening up as they shift across the ground laterally. Okay, step number 8. Now you're going to integrate other micro moments from other game moments. So we've got defense, defend the goal. Now we're going to bring in the other macro moment, which is regain possession. Okay, so you've got your 5 or 6 micro moments from there. Okay, once you make them turn the ball over, okay, so you've defended the goal by making the ground small and making them go wide. Now you've made them turn the ball over. What's your first move once you regain possession or the ball comes in dispute again? Okay, that's when you move into the next macro moment of defense, which is regain possession. Alright, so now you're building the game plan as a continuous plan more so than isolate everything. Step number 9, now you can integrate with different macro moments. So we had defense, defend the goal, regain possession. Okay, then as we saw in the loop in I think it was step number 2, we integrate with different macro moments. And now you're going to recreate a scenario where you've defended the goal, you've made them go wide, you've made them turn the ball over, and now you're going to add in, once you regain possession, how do you move the ball after that? Okay? Should have put them in the wrong order. So that would be your counter attack. Alright, so that might be you want to go fast, you might want to switch the play, you might want to go inboard, you might want to handball and run. It depends what micro moments you've set up in your other game moments. Okay, so now you put your teachings to the test. So like I said, you use scenarios, small-sided games, game simulation. Right, so you can use scenarios. I would start with scenarios because that's going to be sort of your positioning, player positioning and movement on the ground during games. So start with that, get that bit right. Then you might use small-sided games that sort of train one real specific micro moment. So if it's just pressing up on the ball carrier, you might just have a real specific game for that. That's the focus of the game. You get a point if you can press the player to turn over the football. Okay, so that's ultra specific. So they either turn the ball over and you get a point, or they don't. Okay, so it's a yes or no. There's no sort of grey area of success. They turn the ball over or they hold the ball. Successful or you're not. Then game simulation, it's sort of like just spreading out the ground a bit more, and then you're sort of putting your scenarios in your small-sided game. What you've learned, what you've taught your players in those two aspects, a game simulation, does it carry over? And then you can sort of see again, or we don't quite move laterally as good as we should as a cluster. Go back to the micro moment, train that a bit more specific to plug those holes up. Okay, so probably the first step of this is to actually develop the game model, which I have a program for. I've set it up originally as 3 Zoom calls with some homework in between. The Zoom calls go for probably half an hour, 40 minutes, not very long. Once you have your game model down, then you can go through and sort of work out what drills you need, which I have a lot of these drills in the Training Drills membership level 3 option on my site, and Aussie Rules Training with the levels, with the link there. So you've got to get away from cone to cone drills. There's no perception action coupling, there's no decision making, it's just skill rehearsal. It's already skills that players can do. Every player, regardless of their ability, can already kick from cone 1 to cone 2. So if you're still doing that, and you're expecting them to play or improve as players in a game situation, you're kidding yourself. It's as simple as that. So if you're interested, let me know through the Facebook page or the Twitter page, or through my email at aussierulstraining@gmail.com. Any questions, let me know below. Thank you.